want to talk to you about the fact that good intentions does not mean that something is God's will. Now, maybe the greatest illustration in the Bible is King David. David's intention, God had been so good to him. He wanted to build the temple of God. 2 Chronicles chapter 6, verse 7 to 9 in our text today. Then Solomon said, "My father David wanted to build this temple to honor the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. But the Lord told him, 'You wanted to build the ark to honor my name. Your intention is good, but you are not the one to do it. One of your own sons will build the temple to honor me.'" Now, I want you to notice something. God gave David the designs. Please, 2 Chronicles chapter 28, verses 11 and 19. All the design plans were given to David. David was the architect. David was the engineer. David laid it all out in all of its magnificence. And David, as you go on there in 1 Chronicles 28, verses 11 and 19, David even laid out all the things that the Levites were to do, the singers were to do, the choirs were to do. David had such a heart for God. He planned everything out. And then David paid for it all. David emptied his personal treasuries so that, forgive me, Solomon kind of started as a king, kind of broke. But David emptied his treasuries. David did everything for the house of God. He had such a heart for God's house. God let him plan it. God even let him pay for it. But he said, "David, you're not going to build it because you're a man of blood." Now, beloved, there are consequences. I believe man of blood here doesn't refer to his warrior days. I believe it refers to killing the innocent man, Uriah, the husband of Bathsheba. All the other times you see David standing up for righteousness, you see him very upset when Joab would kill people needlessly. David was not a man of blood. He was a man of war, but he was not a man of blood. But with Uriah, he was a man of blood. But God said, "David, in my mercy, I'm going to let you design it because I know your heart for me." He said, "David, in my mercy, I'm going to let you pay for it because I know your heart for me." But he said, "David, you're not going to build it." Good intentions don't mean it's the will of God. Now, beloved, sometimes you and I have really, really good intentions. But good intentions are not God's will. God's will flows from God. It doesn't flow to God. "God, I got an idea and I want to do this." God's will flows from God. So please understand, good intentions flow from our heart to God. God's will flows from God's heart to us.